We need to set up a bit of a framework to talk about the Enneagram, and I think a very useful one is to take a step back and look at what they call the centers of energy, or the centers of intelligence in the body. There is a fundamental energy in all of us that really keeps us alive and guides us intelligently through life. While it circulates through the body, it tends to be most evident in the three centers: the head center, the heart center, and the gut center. At the head center, we experience a deep sense of knowing and wisdom. And I think we've all had that experience of knowing what to do without thinking about it. We're guided by something bigger that is bigger than ourselves, and we just know that we are in the flow. We are supported, and there is a flow to life. At the heart center, we have that deep compassion and connection with others, and this happens when we fall in love or when we're touched by things of great beauty, and we're overcome by this sense of oneness, compassion, and the love of life. And at the gut center, we sometimes have that sense of extreme aliveness, and we don't have to protect ourselves. We're part of a bigger energy field. And when we connect to this field, the body feels really alive, vibrant, and unlimited. Much of the time, we're not connected to these three natural centers of intelligence or energy, and we experience life in a much more humdrum, limited way. We've built around each center protective shells that protect us from the full experience of life. So, how do these coping strategies develop? When we come in as babies, for instance, it's a pretty rough ride coming down the birth canal. Even that, it's traumatic for the mother, or can be traumatic for the mother. I would guess it's probably fairly traumatic for the little baby. When the baby comes into the world, and there's lights and noise and stuff going on, and there are probably ways in which they develop to try and protect themselves from those challenging conditions. As we grow up and go to school and become adults even, we run into situations which are difficult, and sometimes they're traumatic even. So we have this need to not fully be exposed to the overwhelming nature of some of these experiences. And we start building up our coping strategies. And we wouldn't be here today if we hadn't developed those coping strategies. They keep us safe, and they kept us safe from things as children which we wouldn't have been able to cope with. The problem with this is, as we go through life, we continue to keep building these coping strategies, and they become what I call the shells of personality, and they go around the centers that I talked about. So they go around the head center, and around the heart center, and around the gut center. Not only do they keep us safe, they cut us off from the experiences of life, and we lose connection with others. We lose connection with the beauty of life, and the danger is that as we progress through life, those shells get thicker and thicker and more rigid and more inflexible, and the very essential qualities of life can't really flow through. And there's a poster I saw once, and up the top of the poster it had 3 beautiful little babies, giggling, laughing, very, very happy. And down the bottom there were 3 grumpy old men. And the poster said, "What happened?" What happened, of course, was that we continued to build these shells around our essential qualities and our essence and our connection with life, and we just became unable to access all that wonderful natural qualities that we all have. So nothing's gone away, it's just that we've covered it over with our coping strategies. There's a beautiful saying, with trauma, play ends, and vigilant self-care begins. With trauma, play ends, and vigilant self-care begins. And when I'm talking about trauma there, it can just be the little challenges of life. It can also be serious trauma. Our need is to keep ourselves safe, and that's the vigilant self-care. And unfortunately, there is a cost in that vigilant self-care, because we're constantly using our coping strategies to protect ourselves from the day-to-day things in life, which mightn't be that threatening at all. And so begins and continues our journey down the levels of health of the Enneagram.